Good morning, my little ones. Welcome to my kitchen/classroom. I hope that you guys are all having a wonderful morning. So we tried to go live this morning, but they said we have to wait 24 hours. So today will just be a recorded video, and then starting tomorrow morning, you guys can go live with me so that I can hear from you through the comments when I ask questions. So today we're going to do a mini phonics lesson, a really short version, not very long, but you're going to need paper and pencil during today's lesson, and you're going to need something with texture. So examples of that are, I have a salt box here, Tupperware with salt on the bottom of it, or you can use a dry sponge to trace your words on, or a fuzzy blanket, anything that has texture, okay? So make sure you have that. If you're working in your kitchen, salt or a sponge might be close by. And the paper and pencil you will need during the read aloud when you're listening for specific sounds. So first, I want to sing our good morning song. And don't make fun of me, you guys. You know my singing voice is awful. But here we go. And the end is changed. I took away the math ending since we're not doing morning math. So this is the ending that I use with Madden. So I'm going to use that with you too. So listen close for the new ending. All right, guys, good morning song. Good morning, good morning, good morning, how are you? I'm fine, and I hope that you are too. I'm so glad to see you. I almost couldn't wait. Can you smile that smile and make today great? What do you think? Do you guys like the ending? Maximus likes it. All right, you guys. First thing we're going to talk about is a spelling rule. And I'm going to read these words. I'm going to see if you can guess before I tell you what the rule is. Fraud, cause, sauce. It's in blue for a reason. Taught, August, law, draw, paw, crawl, dawn, and hawk. So we're working on AU and AW here. And what sound do we make when we hear AU and AW? It's the sound we make when we see a baby. Aww. AU, I'm going to let Maximus come sit in the kitchen with us because otherwise he's going to bark because he wants to know who I'm talking to. All right, give me 1 second. Real life, huh? Okay, you guys. So we know that AU and AW says aw. So now I have these words. Can you try and figure out what the spelling rule is? If you're thinking that AU is used at the beginning and middle of words and syllables, you're right. It is generally used at the beginning and middle, and AW is generally used at the end. Now, as with most spelling rules, there's an exception. If you look down here in the red box, you see crawl, dawn, and hawk. AW is not at the end, it's in the middle. Why? Well, it's because of those game changer letters. If the final sound comes right after the aw sound and it's an L, N, or K, you use AW. Okay, so this one was in blue. Sauce. The reason it's in blue is because it comes from our story of the day. This is one of my favorites. I might have read it to you guys at the very beginning of the year. If I didn't, well, this will be an exciting news story. This is one of my favorites since I was even younger than you guys. So we're going to read it, and we're going to hear how sauce comes up in the story. But your job, while I'm reading the story, did you guys see Maximus? Your job while I'm reading the story is to be listening for and writing down words that end in ED. And when we add ED onto the end of a word, what does that make ED? I know, Ian, if you're watching this video, you are probably shouting out the answer right now, huh? ED is a suffix added onto the end of the word. It's a vowel suffix. Why? Why is it a vowel suffix? Because it starts with a vowel. It starts with E. But it's also an inflectional ending, which means it changes the meaning of the base word when we add it onto the end. For instance, I have a whiteboard here. We're going to put a word down, a base word down. Oh, parents. These little whiteboards I got at the dollar store, and they have lines on it, like lined paper, to help with handwriting and letter formation. They're fantastic. Just a side note, if anyone needs to be practicing their handwriting, my little friends, this is a great way. If I have this base word, can you guys see it? D-A-N-C-E. Let me see. Ooh, it looks like it's backwards, huh? I don't know if I can do it a different way. Let's see. So Miss Ramsey's going to try and see if I can teach myself on the fly how to do that. Let's see. Pretty close. We'll keep working on it. Maybe I'll have to have the words already written backwards for you guys. Hopefully these aren't all coming in backwards on you. I'm so sorry if they are. We're learning this together, right? So we have, I'm just going to write it really big. And if it's backwards, I'm really sorry. It is the word dance. From my point of view right now, it kind of looks like this is a B, like it's backwards. But I promise you, it's dance, D-A-N-C-E. If I add ED to the end of the base word, it becomes danced. How did that change the meaning? Yeah, it means it already happened in the past. It's over with. Oh, I see a cat in the back. That's Baker, you guys. He likes to come when he hears voices. So, he's probably wondering who I'm talking to also. All right. 3 sounds of ED. ED can make 3 different sounds. I know you guys know these sounds. It can say duh, ta, and it can also say ed. Your job while I'm reading the story today is to be listening for words that end in ED and thinking about the sound that it's making, duh, ta, or ed. If you even want to make 3 separate columns on your paper, that would be great. It would help you be organized. Okay, here we go. The Little Old Man Who Could Not Read. This story is by Irma Simonton Black, and the pictures are done by the illustrator Seymour Fleischman. This book is really old, but I love it. Once there was a little old man who could not read. He just never wanted to learn. His wife went to the store and bought the food. But home and made beautiful toys out of wood. Children all over the world loved his toys, and many wrote to tell him so. But still, the little old man never wanted to learn to read. Look at all those letters, you guys. One day, his wife decided to go on a visit. "You will need to go to the store," she said. "Get a can of soup, a big can of spaghetti sauce." There's sauce. There's our word. "And some spaghetti. Get some sugar and some milk and some oatmeal. Eat well." And she kissed the old man and left. The old man went to the store. There were rows and rows of cans with pictures on them. And there were rows and rows of cans and boxes without pictures. What were they? The little man did not know, and he didn't like to ask. Why do you think he didn't like to ask, you guys? Why didn't he just ask someone for help? Why do you think? He bought a middle-sized can. It looked like the cans of soup his wife brought home. He bought a long box that looked like a spaghetti box and a big can that looked like a spaghetti sauce can. He bought a blue box that looked like a sugar box. He bought a round box that looked like an oatmeal box. And last of all, that's a good transition phrase, wasn't it? And last of all, he bought a square carton. It looked like the milk cartons his wife brought home. "Ah," said the little old man when he got home. "That walk made me hungry. I shall have some hot soup for lunch." He opened the middle-sized can. It was onion soup. The little old man hated onions of any kind. And onion soup worst of all. "Fiddle," he said. "Onion soup. I shall save it for my good wife." At dinner time, the little old man rubbed his hands with pleasure. Are you picturing in your mind him going like this? Me too. And took down the long box that looked like a spaghetti box and a great big can that looked like a spaghetti sauce can. Beaming, he opened the long box. But the box did not have spaghetti in it. It had wax paper. "Fiddlesticks and fish fur," said the little old man. "Who wants to eat wax paper? Even with sauce on it? Not I, for one. But I can eat the sauce all by itself." He reached for the big can. For the first time he noticed that it had a plastic top on it. So he took it off. "That's funny," he said to himself. "I never saw a plastic top on a sauce can. I do hope this isn't a coffee can." He opened the big can. It was a coffee can. The coffee smelled delicious. But it wasn't much good for a hungry little old man. "Shall I have my oatmeal and milk and sugar instead?" he asked himself. Then he answered, "No, I'll have a cup of coffee and go to bed. In the morning, I'll have a nice big breakfast." By the next morning, he was very, very hungry. "Oatmeal," said the old man as he jumped out of bed. "I shall put lots and lots of milk and sugar on it." The little old man got the round box and the blue box and the square carton. He put them on the table and he opened the round box. There was no oatmeal in it. It was full of something grainy and white. The old man tasted it carefully. "Salt. Fiddles and flutes," said the old man. "Who wants milk and sugar on salt?" He opened the blue box and got a spoon to have a sweet taste of sugar. But there was no sugar in the box. It was full of little white flakes, but Soap, said the little old man sadly. Who wants soap even with milk? Oh, how hungry I am. He opened the square carton to get a drink of milk, but the milk in the carton smelled funny. It was buttermilk. Sour, sour buttermilk. The old man hated buttermilk, but he was so hungry he drank every drop of it. The old man hated onion soup, but at noon he was so hungry that he ate the onion soup. At night the wife came back. The old man was very glad to see her. Wife, he said, I had a bad time. What do you think's gonna happen? He told her how he got all mixed up with the cans and cartons and boxes. The long box was not spaghetti, it was wax paper, he told her. The blue box was soap flakes, the round box was salt. Wife, please teach me to read. Very well, I shall, said his good wife. First, the old man learned to read the word spaghetti. Next, he learned to read the word milk. Then he learned to read the words for everything in the big store. And then he learned to read the words for everything in the world. But he still made his beautiful toys out of wood. And now he could read the letters the children sent him. And he never, no, never went hungry again. What do you guys think was the main idea to that story? Let me give you a second to think about it. Main idea. So main idea means what the story was mostly about. It's not the lesson, it's the main idea. So the main idea here is it's a story about how a little old man couldn't read and how that was a problem and how the solution, and it made his life better, was to learn to read. Were you thinking something along those lines? Now, the lesson. What do you think the lesson in this story is? I think the lesson of this story is how important it is to learn to read. Okay, we're going to go back to sauce real quick because that was a word that was in our story. Because he wanted so badly to have spaghetti and sauce, but he ended up being wax paper and coffee. Poor thing. That's why it's so important to read, huh? Well, we are going to use sauce because it has that aw sound. And we're going to take something with texture. I'm going to use my salt box. You guys can use your sponge if you got a salt box out, or if you have a fuzzy blanket nearby. Anything that has texture, not just smooth, but has a texture to it. And we're going to write sauce and say it out loud, just like in class when we do foundations. We're going to write it with our fingers on the texture, and then we're going to write it 3 times, and we're going to say it out loud every time on our paper. So I'm going to use this as my piece of paper. Okay, ready? Sauce. S-A-U-C-E. Sauce. 2 more times. S-A-U-C-E. Sauce. 1 more time. S-A-U-C-E. Sauce. Now let's go to our paper. 3 times. S-A-U-C-E. Sauce. S-A-U-C-E. Sauce. S-A-U-C-E. Sauce. Good job, you guys. All right, you should also have on your paper a list of ED words. past tense verbs from the story. Let's see if your list is like my list. I made a list earlier. Here's my list. It might be different from your list. And again, if these are backwards to you guys, I'm so sorry. I'll have to figure something out. Maybe we'll have to get a mirror involved. Put the camera on a mirror. I don't know. I'll have to experiment. So I heard these words. Maybe you heard more than me. I don't know. Ending in the D sound. Loved, learned, opened. You can read them with me if you can read them. If they're not backwards. Rubbed. Did you get rubbed? Smelled. Now, ED words that end in the T sound. Mixed, kissed, looked, noticed, jumped. And finally, the ED words that make the ED sound. Wanted, decided, hated. That's not a nice word, is it? But the author did use it in there a couple of times. Did you guys get all of those words, or did you get more than me? All right, you guys, that was our story for today, The Little Old Man Who Could Not Read. I miss you all very, very much. I know that you are working hard, and I will be checking in on all of your work that you turn in, and I can't wait to see you again. All right, you guys, have a great day. Bye.